Hello there. My name is Alexey Maslov. For those who don't know me, I am a product manager for managed switches, Ethernet routers, and video surveillance at Eltex. And today I'm here at rainy Siberia bringing you all the updates for the next 3 or 4 months, what we had achieved, what we are going to work on in the next quarter, and hopefully in the next 30 or 40 minutes you'll learn something new. And of course, you're always welcome to drop a question in the comment section. I'll be able to read those at the end of the webinar and answer those. We'll start as usual from our managed switches. I'll remind you that we have 3 series of the equipment, and our most advanced lineup are ROS6 devices. ROS6 is the name of the operation system, and these are the most advanced switches. They are L3, they have Cisco CLI, and most of our efforts naturally go in this lineup. ISS is another alternative operating system that is a little bit more cost effective, but has a little less routing functionality. It's what we call L2 switches, and ROS4 is actually what we had before ROS6 was released. This is the equipment we are gradually deprecating. We keep on selling, and we have really good pricing on those, the leftovers of this equipment, but we are not going to develop ROS4 operating system anymore. The last version being 4.0.27 getting released later this month, and this will be effectively the last version released, and you can only count on the security fixes past this point. So I'm not going to be talking about these devices too much, and anything, if you had any say 23 MES 2348 equipment, this is getting replaced with MES 2300-48 equipment, and so on and so forth. So we are going to focus on ROS6 and ISS. With the ROS6, the current version is 6.6.11, and the next versions we are expecting is 6.6.12 at the 31st of May this year, and 6.6.13 in the third quarter. And briefly, the updates are among extending BFD, bidirectional forwarding functionality. I'll have a next slide dedicated to this topic. NSF L3, this is updates. We are keep on developing non-stop forwarding functionality. We had released L2 some time ago. It is also in the ROS6 operating system, and it was focused. It was bringing the ability to forward the traffic in case the control plane of your switch gets rebooted, gets offline. The data plane keeps on switching traffic based on MAC addresses within the same subnet. L3, on the other hand, gives the ability to route traffic between different subnets. So it's not using MAC addresses. So it's L3 functionality. It's using IP addressing and doing proper routing with external subnets as well. And the PTP and PRP protocols, we usually talk about them together because they are dedicated specifically for industrial switches. I'm going to cover a little bit more about them at the hardware section of this presentation, but the idea is in the 6.6.13 version, both these protocols will be introduced for our industrial switches for the MIS 3510 series, and they are aimed to offer high availability infrastructure with precision time synchronization for SCADA projects. When it comes to BFD, bidirectional forward detection, you know that you might have noticed that most of the features we spoke to on the previous slide was to do with high availability, and this is no exception. The idea here is that we actually had BFD in place for quite a while on the ROS6 operating system, but this was for dynamic routing protocols, for protocols like BGP, OSPF, ISIS, and these two additions here, we have BFD for static routes and micro BFD, or as it's called, BFD for lag, or BFD over port channel. Firstly, for static routes, you may know that it's different from the dynamic routing protocol in the sense that for static routing, there is no easy method, effectively no method for peer discovery, like in OSPF. Should your peer, your neighbor, go offline, the protocol will find out in about 40 seconds. It's still quite a bit of a downtime and may cause traffic loss, but for static routes, there is no way to detect that, and BFD comes to the rescue. For static routes, should a link go down, basically BFD offers a heartbeat system that actually it's the feedback you're getting should your neighbor go offline is quite fast. It's no seconds, it's about milliseconds. So usually it's configured in a way that every 50 milliseconds you get a heartbeat hello message going back and forth. That's why it's bidirectional, by the way. And after usually 3 messages not being responded to, the link gets marked as offline and it gets removed from the routing table. And in order to access from MES 2 to MES 4, it's using alternative statically configured route. So this is BFD for static routes, available in 6.6.12, and again, its main purpose is reduce the downtime should a link go down, and therefore reduce the amount of lost traffic. Micro BFD, or BFD in the log, similar concept. It's if you have a link aggregation group of 4 links logically representing one channel, should one of the links go down, because of these heartbeat messages, it will learn that this link is down quite fast, and no traffic will be sent on this link. So it is another way to balance traffic and reduce the amount of traffic being lost. We keep on, as I said, deprecating ROS4. We keep on porting some of the functionality to ROS6. So some of the features you got used to and won't keep on using on the new operating system gets ported to ROS6. One of them being FTP client. So again, we had TFTP client for quite a while on ROS6, but we had inquiries from our partners that they want to use good old FTP, and we decided to do that. From version 6.6.12 it will be available. point-to-point protocol over Ethernet intermediate agent. This is something to do with the operator bus functionality. Intermediate agent is designed to help to distinguish between connected hosts for the bus functionality, so they can tell for these tunnels who is who, and basically it's adding service messages for PPPoE protocol. And some of the security updates, they seem to be minor, but security is security. You gotta keep your hand on that. So little features against brute force attacks, and for blocking user who for a period of time who try to enter the wrong password on multiple attempts. If you have any feature that you are missing that you had on ROS 4, please reach to us, because these two operating systems basically are ancestors. They brother and sisters. It may be easier to port this functionality, and it may or may not take a fairly short amount of time before we can port this to ROS 6. And I keep on saying that data center is our priority for the time being, because you know that access switches and aggregation switches, we have quite a wide range, and they've been out there for quite a while. Data center, we are working on that to straighten our positions on the market. Data center bridging is the set of standards, probably the right way to put it. And in the next version of the operating system, we are introducing ETS and ECN standards to data center bridging. Enhanced transmission selection. ETS, you can think of it as QoS for data center, very roughly, but it's the idea behind that is granular adjustment of the amount of traffic of different type that can be processed by the switches. So it's similar to quality of service. You can set that the priority traffic not supposed to take the whole resource of the router, and you can set the percentages for the high priority and low priority traffic. It's so-called noisy neighbor effect, and this is very similar to quality of service. Explicit congestion notification, I think I covered that in some of the webinars before, but the idea behind that, again, to reduce the amount of lost traffic, and in case there is a congestion as the traffic gets routed, it sends a frame to tell the switch to stop routing traffic in that direction, and it keeps on saved in the memory of the device. As the congestion disappears, it starts it basically starts routing traffic again. And our L2 Plus series, based on ISS operating system, the release cycle of this is a little bit longer, not once every 3 months, but once every 4 months. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a delay with version 10.4, but the reason for that is actually quite obvious, because we have SSH version update in this release, which is very important because it's security. We are updating the version to the current one, 9.9 P2, and we had to thoroughly test this solution. This was requested by many of our partners, so it's long awaited, and finally at the end of the June this version will be released. If you want to be an early adopter, please contact us. We may be releasing this version exclusively for you a little bit earlier, so you can try it whether or not it matches your requirement, but it's self-explanatory. SSH is something the latest version is something you want to have on your equipment. In 10.4.5, we are getting fixed our show running execution problem. You may have come across that. It was introduced, I believe, in version 10.4.2 when you run show running config or similar command, the execution might have taken up to 30-40 seconds. It's depending on the configuration, but this is a known issue. If you are experiencing that, don't you worry, it's not for long. We are getting this fixed in version 10.4.5. For the 10.4.6, we getting further stack developments. We are getting IGMP snooping adaptation for stack. This is for multicast traffic support. And we getting further security updates requested by some of our customers, being ACL, access control list logging, and source interface specification. This is similar to Cisco implementation. Basically, the way to send syslog messages for a specific interface caused by the ACL rules. And a little bit about hardware. We'll start with what we work on the most with the data center. In the first quarter, we have, you may actually receive the news that MES 5320-24 model, the 24 model with the 24-25 gig interfaces was released. It's a data center core switch, and it has two 100 gig uplinks. So quite common. It won't be used in spine leaf IP fabrics as much, but for the data center, it's a really good choice with 24 interfaces. And for the IP fabric architecture, we have two models coming up. You might have heard about them. The 570032, you can tell it by the name. It has 32 400 gig interfaces. So it's quite a high performance device. It can be used for super spine or spine architecture as basically super spine and spine model. And even though we call it released, we have a limited number of those devices that we offer to our partners for testing. And on our website, it's still marked as a new, but you are absolutely welcome if you want to try it on your network, if you want to try it for your purposes. We have it available, and please email us. We will discuss the way you can have it for testing. And the next coming, probably towards the end of the year, is MES 560024. This one has 24 100 gig interfaces on board and 8 400 gig interfaces. So this one usually sits beneath the 570032. So if it's a super spine, this one used as a spine. And they both have two 10G SFP Plus interfaces. These can be, you can think of them as more of a management interfaces when we talk about IP fabric architecture. The multi-gigabit switches that are coming up, the 2310 series, they are the 2310-48P is the 2.5 gig device with PoE, and they both more or less designed with the wireless access points in mind, because our access points, the majority of them are multi-gig as well. So for this device you can connect up to 48 access points, for instance Wi-Fi 6 access points, and get the most of them with 2.5G interfaces. And again, they have redundant power supplies, so whether these are access points or any other PoE equipment, you'll be able to provide PoE power for them. And the 2310-12XU, this one is something new for Eltex, because we have never had 10G copper PoE switches before. Not only PoE, this one supports PoE++, so it will go really well along with our Wi-Fi 7 hotspot web 500K that is coming up very soon as well. I think it's already available actually for testing, but basically these devices go together really well, and as long as you have Cat 6A or Category 7 copper Ethernet infrastructure, you can utilize that by installing Wi-Fi 7 access points. So up to 12 access points with a 10G copper cable and PoE you can utilize using this switch. And this highlights how serious we are about Wi-Fi 7 coming up, and that we already have infrastructure solutions for this type of equipment. And last but not least, what I already mentioned before, industrial switches, the 3510S series, the 08P for DIN rail mounting, and 24F for server rack mounting. They both support PTP, precision time protocol, and parallel redundancy protocol, and this highlighted in these S letter, basically short for sync. They can be used in the environments like SCADA, where redundancy and seamless high availability really important. And they both will have this once we have the software ROS 6 version 6.6.13 available. So the hardware is almost ready to go. We're only waiting for the software up and running. Once it's tested, it will be available for be purchased and used in your project. And this is it when it comes to managed switches. And the next topic is ESR equipment, our service routers. Hopefully this one will be a little bit less complicated, because all the range of our service routers have the same operating system, and two versions that we are going to talk about is version 1.40 and version 1.46. Version 1.40 is just few days away from being released, and probably the main highlight is the certification authority, certificate authority built into the router. So the router can act as a certificate authority, significantly simplifying the management of certificates and using them for signing and for setting up encrypted tunnels. There are more functionality, adding more SNMP functionality OIDs added for monitoring. You can see them listed here, and again, it's only highlights. It's not even all the functionality that we have that going into every version. All the functionality that's going into the version you can find in the release notes for the version in the documentation. And the deep packet inspection, same thing. We are extending the list of the application that we support filtering for, and the whole list, it's about 600 of these applications. It won't fit into the slide. You will definitely want to check it out in the documentation if you are interested in this type of functionality. But I want to bring your attention to certificate authority, what it looks like in version 1.40. So you know that it's a crucial part for traffic encryption. You do need certificate authority to manage your certificate, and we used to be able to use third-party certificate authority for the process of setting up tunnels. Now you can see that on this diagram, the head office, the ESR, say ESR 3200, may act as not only as a hub but as certificate authority as well. And in this case, when a spoke generates a key pair of public and private keys, they may request a head office ESR acting as certificate authority to verify its identity and issue a signed certificate. In this case, spoke will use this certificate to authenticate itself during IPsec and other tunnels, SSL, SSH, you name it, and the peers will be able to verify that they are what they are, because all the management is happening on the hub. So certificate renewal, certificate revocation, there is no need to call a third-party certification authority in order to verify that this certificate is active and trusted. Next, there are updates to clustering when it comes to synchronization of configuration. I'll remind you that we support clustering of active and active standby types up to 4 devices. And we also have some of the updates for DNS and routing, adding commands source address for different utilization for different applications, like for DNS, for TFTP and NTP servers. And in the next version, 1.46, that we are expecting in the third quarter. This date here, fingers crossed, I hope we'll have it by July, but we may be delaying it a little bit. But for early adopters, again, we can, if any of the functionality here is of interest for you, we may offer it for you a little bit earlier for testing purposes, not the release version, but the stable version. We are expecting to have finally have PIM sparse mode. This is for multicast traffic for the systems with sparsely located hosts for managing multicast traffic. Some of the extensions for BGP route flat damping and soft reconfiguration, and a bunch of security features like BGP, flow spec, being a BGP extension for distributing traffic trafiltering rules across the network to mitigate things like DDoS attacks and introduce improved traffic management. And things I had highlighted before, like geo IP and fail to ban security measures. Geo IP is the mechanism of allowing only traffic from certain regions, and fail to ban is a feature against brute force, against multiple attempts of logging with trying to guess the password. These features are considered NGWF features, new generation firewall. Even though we don't consider ESR as NGFW device, these features are somewhat new generation. So even though our NGFW are coming not too soon, we hope it's basically a conversation for another webinar as to what is the project like, but these features are truly new generation and will be available in ESR regardless of the model. So this will be available on all the lineup of our ESR devices. And last but not least, something we had requested from our partners who want to use our routers not on the not on the large offices, not in data centers, but rather for small and medium businesses, like models ESR 15, when they don't want to get their hands into the CLI, they wanted to have web user interface in the ESR to be able to do some initial or time to time setup in the graphic interface. We are getting this released actually a little bit ahead of time. We initially planned this for version 146, but the first minimal viable product, first MVP version, is expected to be released at version 1.46. There won't be much there in terms of what you can set up, but there will be, some basic stuff like being able to change some basic settings, add or review the licenses, be able to see physical interfaces. So if you are interested, if you're one of those users who would rather use graphical interface than command line, please reach to us and at sales@eltex-co.ru, and I'll share with you the roadmap for web graphical interface development. But again, you can count on the first version of this to be available in ESR 146, and this will be the beginning of bringing new features into the long-awaited web user interface for the ESR. As far as the hardware goes, there are few devices that are released this year. One of them, ESR 3150, is already available for you to order. And this is very similar to the ESR 32 and 3350 that we had spoke before. But this one has, instead of 25G interfaces, it has 10G. So not, for the application where 25G is a little bit excessive. The new product that you may have heard of before is our console server. You may ask, why is it sitting in the ESR product range? This is simply because it's based on the ESR, but it is not a router. It is a server that has 32 copper interfaces that you can connect to the console port of your equipment. So it is another way to manage your equipment. So basically, you can connect up to 32 devices with the RS-232 cables, so-called console cables. And by using something like Telnet SSH, you may connect to those devices without the physical presence and physically accessing those console ports. So in case remote access not working, this is a backup plan for you to access all that equipment. And thanks to the ESR platform, the security of this solution is quite high, and you won't need to worry about this too much. It is a secure and nice way to remotely manage your equipment. And last but not least, in the third quarter of 2026, we are expecting two 4G LTE models. You may notice that they have ESR 15R and ESR 31 in the name accordingly, and this is before they are based off those models. But 4G means that in addition to all the functionality and all the features of those models, they will have two LTE ports for SIM cards, category 12, that you can utilize to have a redundant connectivity, redundant ISP connectivity, or the only connectivity if ISP is the only option. And there are various scenarios where these devices can be used. ATMs, remote gas stations, you name it. Basically, whenever you want to have a redundant connectivity using mobile network, these devices may be a great choice. At this point, they are in the last stages of development. We are writing software to support those devices, and if you have any comments, if you have any requirements, we recently contacted our partners in terms of what they think of and what requirements they have for these devices. If you have anything to share with us in terms of what you want to see in those devices, please feel free to reach us. And last but not least, for the broadband is our management systems. We have two, and I would like to remind you that we in 2026 had webinars dedicated to each of those management systems. We had a webinar on ECCM very recently, I think in April. It's available on this YouTube channel for you to rewatch, and it was a really nice webinar with a live demo of ECCM. ECCM is basically a management tool for Eltex equipment, and it even supports some third-party equipment using SNMP traps. And we have two versions that we released during the last 3 months. Version 2.6 is something where we had introduced REST API. It is a great thing for connecting with external SIEM systems where it wants to retrieve things like device information, group statistics, information about problems, events, tasks. Everything I just mentioned can be done through this REST API. There is improvement in visualization of active problems, and in the webinar I just mentioned, we actually had a live demonstration of how interfaces and port channel can be managed using web interface. And in the version 2.7 that just had been released, we have a bunch of improvements in the for Ethernet switches. Some of them to do with the data center switches, like EVPN multi-homing configuration for lift units that can be connected to multiple hosts. This again can be set up through a nice user-friendly web interface, and also some of the access level stuff like IP address configuration on ports for switches and monitoring of routing tables. And also for all the new equipment, the new versions support this new equipment. For instance, version 2.6 is where we added a bunch of new Wi-Fi hotspots, including Wi-Fi 7 hotspots, and version 2.7 is where we added support for MIS 570032. I just showed this device to you before. Nice. You may know about this management system from our webinar we previously had, and this is similar to Cisco ISE, and this takes care of user authentication, authorization, and administration. And the versions here, they again all about security. Some of the features have to do with the system itself, like system settings now are available in the web UI, or you can use LDAP and Microsoft Active Directory accounts to log into the system itself, and some things like strengthening password policies for system users. And in the new versions there are features like support for EAP TTLS. This protocol is predominantly used for wireless, and the idea here is use TLS encrypted tunnels for server-side certificate for secure transmission of user credentials. So as the user connects and try to authorize in the system, these protocols can be used for secured credential transfer. And little security features for securing the access to the system itself is a 2FA and restrict the number of connection for Active Directory accounts. And from here, I will go to the last topic today, being video surveillance, IP cameras and EVI platform. EVI platform, you may know that this is our solution for video surveillance, and this is a management system, yet another management system, but very powerful. Version 1.5.0 was released at the end of March, and as usual, it have front end and back end sides to it. Front end consists of the management web interface being available in the browser, and the client interface that is available as a Windows or Linux app. So the updates is redesigned and upgraded video player in both of these sides to the front end, both in web interface and the app. We had improved the video player. In the app, we also added hotkey support, so it's a little bit easier for your security personnel now to manage the streams and review the archive. And in the web part, we added support for PTZ cameras. As far as the backend goes, we spent some time for this release, and this was one of the aims for this release, to let me find the right word, sort of separate these modules from one another. So previously, for instance, let me start that the system consists of 3 modules. One module for video recording, one module for access control, and one module for video analytics. So if you wanted to use video recording and video analytics without access control, this wouldn't be that easy, because the module for access control and for analytics were a little bit tied together, in the sense that it could recognize someone's face or a number plate of a vehicle, but without comparing it to the database of, say, employees, it wouldn't do much. And now these modules are separated. Even without using access control, you can fully utilize analytics and get access list based on those people who the camera had recognized, have full list of who the camera detected, and a full list of vehicle registration plates. So you now do not have to have access control module at all in order to fully utilize the analytics. Apart from that, we had some work done on the redundancy of AV services, and also we had improved guest and guest visit management. So this is to do with access control. So EV platform can be used for only video recording. If it's your purpose, video recording can be done in the archive without any use of NVR, and you can use the app for your security personnel. And analytics is something to make the most use of the video streams. Access control only comes into play when you want to restrict the access to your office or to your workplace. EV Mobile is something we've been also updating quite rapidly, because the release cycle of EV Mobile is 1 month. So it comes down to 12 releases each year. I split it to the first and second quarter, and if you want to try it yourself, if you already have EV installed at your place, you may go to App Store or Android, like Google Play Store. You may download it to your phone and connect to your AV server in your organization. In the first quarter, we had some work for the UI. We now have all the equipment displayed, like cards. You can tap on the camera, see all the related things like live stream, archived footage, where the camera is installed in the same card, and similar goes for the controllers. IPI, ER, this also displayed as a card. We've done some work on event summary and filters, so it's a little bit easier now to find a specific piece of footage or specific notifications. And notifications, this is what we had done a lot of work on, so you always get notified and always can find the right notification, and you're not going to miss any important updates from the system. And for the next quarter, we are working on new role model to make role and access a little bit more granular. And video wall is something, some work on the way the footage is displayed on the phone, making multiple cameras display at the same time. As far as the hardware goes, I actually brought to you one of the cameras that you can see on the screen. I have in my hands right here. This is SVBA 314-E Rev B. So we have 2 Revision B cameras. The model name stayed the same, except we added revb here and here. And the difference is not noticeable from the outside. The difference is actually inside. There are two things that we had updated. Some of our customers wanted us to support both PoE types, Power over Ethernet mode A, that we only support in the first generation of these devices, and PoE mode B. This one supports both PoE, so it's not compatible only with the mode A switches now. And injectors. It's compatible with pretty much all PoE injectors and switches available on the market, as long as they support either mode A or mode B. Either of them is supported. And another update is actually inside the camera at the sensor. So the sensor became physically bigger. So it's 1 to 2.7 inch, unlike 1 to 3 inches in the previous generation. So it's better light sensitivity, and you may expect better video quality from the revb devices. In the first quarter, we have released the anti-vandal model, BA331E4C. This one also has a bigger image sensor, and this one has an anti-vandal protection class of IK10. And next planned is our varifocal device. It's first of the cameras that we are planning to release with the not only with the new processor allowing for true WDR, but with the ability to change its focal distance, to be able to zoom in and out without loss of quality. And this is bullet-shaped device, will be first in this line of equipment. This specific model, we are extending our range of devices, is 2 megapixel, but you can expect either other number of megapixels in the range of the devices. So this is it as far as hardware goes, and next is our Q&A section. Alrighty. The only question I have: how will I be able to configure VPN tunnels in the ESR web interface? GRE, IPsec, etc. This, I believe, is to do with the ESR web interface that I just announced, that we are getting an MVP in version 1.46. The short answer is yes, it will be available, but not in the MVP. The tunneling functionality, I believe, is the next release after the MVP. Again, contact us to get the roadmap for ESR Web, but I believe this will be available in the first quarter of 2027. So we are getting physical interfaces, port channel, groups first, and the next release we are getting tunnels. So things like DM, VPN, GRE, IPsec is all going to the next release. So yes, it will be available, but I believe it will be version 1.49 or version 1.50 something. So please reach out to us to receive a roadmap for ESR Web. So I think this wraps it up. I'm going to thank you all for being here with me, and please keep in the loop. We are having more interesting webinars coming. We are going to have another engineer who will be bringing you some of the news for Wi-Fi functionality and covering some other interesting topics. But you can count on further quarter updates in the future. So thank you very much, and I talk to you next month.